So my name's Corrine Smith. I'm very proud to be a part of the Zoetis team. Zoetis is for those of you who are unsure, is one of the leaders in the global animal health in the world, and we're keen partners of the equine industry as well. So my background prior to joining Zoetis, I spent 10 years in private practice, predominantly with racetrack work, before moving into industry. And I've been with Zoetis for 18 months, but am a relatively new member of the VetOps team. So thanks very much for having me. So today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about vaccinations. It's a huge topic and a very important one. So the aim today is just to give a bit of a brief overview as to what's available and the resources we have that may be able to help with that coordination on farm, given that there are lots of important diseases to protect against. I know that can be quite a big job, so any way that we can help to make that process easier with regards to record keeping and resources and protocols, then please don't hesitate to reach out. So just briefly, having some technical issues already. Excellent. Here we go. So why vaccinate? Which diseases you can vaccinate against, and when should you vaccinate? I'm sure everyone has heard, well too much about the word vaccinate recently, and we're going to hear a whole lot more about it, no doubt. But in animal medicine, as well as human health, it's a very important way to protect the community from a number of serious diseases. So why we want to vaccinate on the studs is to protect the most vulnerable in the community, which are the foals, and to protect the whole population from a variety of different serious diseases so that we can minimise loss and time spent treating those cases, and prevention is far better than cure. So it's a simplest and most cost-effective way of preventing those diseases. Animals that have a disease-free start to life are likely to mature faster, mature stronger, and perform better in the long run. So what diseases are important? With our equine friends, there are a lot of them. So those being Hendra, tetanus, strangles, herpes virus, rotavirus, and salmonella. I'm sure you've all heard of them, and you're all already vaccinating against these diseases. If you want more information specifically about each one, then please don't hesitate to reach out to your local Zoetis rep. Each of these diseases has a different vaccination protocol surrounding it, and potentially different aims depending on what the disease is, whether it's protecting mares against abortion, or whether it's protecting foals from respiratory disease. So the logistics of coordinating these all on farm is what we're here to sort of help with. We are just going to talk a little bit about one of these, that being the Hendra virus, because not only does it have important horse health implications, it's also very important in terms of human health. So Hendra virus is a zoonotic disease. Its natural host in the wild is the flying fox, and periodically this disease can spill over from the flying fox to horses via contact with infected bat body fluids. From there, it can spread horse to horse and horse to human. Since the discovery of Hendra virus in 1994, there have been over 100 horse cases and 7 cases in humans. All of these horse cases have been confined to date to Queensland and New South Wales, including that case I'm sure everyone is familiar with in the Upper Hunter Valley in 2019. So despite the fact disease has only been picked up in horses in these areas, it is known to be prevalent in bats across a wider range of Australia. So the reason this is so important is that it has a 80% fatality with our equine friends and over a 50% human fatality, so very serious. Symptoms can be, in the horse, can be vague and non-specific, which means that you can't determine whether something is Hendra or not just by looking at the animal. They have a wide range of potential clinical signs and disease symptoms, and a variety of combinations of those two, ranging from very serious to sometimes just mild colic-like symptoms. So vaccination is by far the best protection. The other reason it's important to have a Hendra plan is not just to protect the horses and the humans, but potentially having a Hendra case on a farm can have huge implications outside of it as well, because it's a notifiable disease. It can lead to quarantine and government control of that quarantine process. There are work health and safety issues and implications surrounding this disease. There may be insurance complications. So yeah, vaccination is a really important tool there and our best tool against prevention. Majority of farms, we know, vaccinate their own stock and have policies for visiting mares. So we just really encourage you to continue to advertise those policies so that your walk-ins are not caught unaware by those policy changes. Because of the nature of Hendra virus, it's a registry is kept of every vaccination. It's a vaccine that can only be purchased through your farm vet and must be administered there and recorded, any doses recorded on the registry. That is so that you can also access these vaccination status of horses, so that you can, keep up those biosecurity measures and keep track of horses coming in, moving in and off the property, and the ones on the property for boosters, things like that. So with regards to public access, that is through the healthforhorses.com.au site that's listed there. So you can search a horse's vaccination status via its microchip number on that site. And if you need any help with that site, then equine@zoetis.com is the best place to get that. So in terms of resources, this is, as I say, each class of horse has a different requirement for initiating immunity against these different diseases, and then the pregnant mares have their own programs as well to help protect them at critical stages of pregnancy, and also to convey protection to the foal by way of antibodies and colostrum. So this is just a sort of a one-pager, helps highlight the difference in some of those protocols. But we also have a brochure for Australian breeding horses, common disease and their prevention, which has a suggested vaccination calendar in the back of it, which looks like this. And any on-farm vaccination protocols are going to be, decided in combination with your veterinary support team. But this may just help understand the timing of boosters, the different classes, and help with that record keeping process. I'm sure all the stud management programs have facilities for recording vaccines, setting due dates for boosters so that you can easily obtain lists as to who's due for boosters of these vaccines and when. But if you are interested in having a look through more information about each of these diseases and the different vaccination protocols, then feel free to reach out and we can supply that to you. So I know that was a very short and sharp overview of vaccination, just barely scratching the surface. But yeah, I'd encourage any questions.
Thanks, Corrine.
Sorry.